You think you know what home means. Safety, comfort, a place where you can finally breathe after a long day. But what if the very people who claim to protect the neighborhood decide that your peace, your dignity, and even your money belong to them? This isn't just a story about a flower pot. It's about power. It's about control. And it's about what happens when an ordinary man decides he won't be pushed anymore. My name's Dan. I bought my house in a quiet suburban community just outside Austin, Texas. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. After years of saving, years of sacrificing late nights and weekends, I had finally earned the right to put down roots. There was one small thing I wanted, a simple clay flower pot by the porch. My mother had given it to me before she passed. She told me, "Every home you live in, keep this pot near the door. It'll remind you that growth is possible anywhere." I planted bright yellow daisies inside. To me, it wasn't decoration. It was memory. But a week later, a letter showed up. Stiff white paper, bold black letters, notice of fine $500. Unauthorized lawn ornament in violation of HOA guidelines. At first, I laughed. Flower pot, $500? Ridiculous. But the HOA wasn't joking. They gave me 10 days to pay or face legal action. The next morning, I walked out to grab my mail. That flower pot was still there, glowing in the Texas sun. But taped right above it was another notice. This one was in red ink, final warning, non-compliance will result in escalated action. That's when I realized this wasn't about rules. It was about control. I went to the HOA president's house, a woman named Karen Whitmore. She greeted me with a smirk, like she had been waiting for this. "Mr. Daniels," she said, her voice syrupy and sharp at the same time, "you signed the agreement when you moved in. Rules are rules. If we let you have a pot, next someone will park an RV, then a broken fence, and then this neighborhood is a slum." I clenched my jaw. It's a pot of flowers. My mom's flowers. This isn't trash. This is my home. Her smile faded. Remove it. Or pay. The days that followed were hell. Anonymous complaints filed against me. My grass was half an inch too tall. My trash bin wasn't aligned with the curb. Even my dog's barking, which barely existed, was disturbing the community. It was clear the HOA had targeted me. I thought about giving in. I thought about throwing away the pot, paying the fine, letting it all die. But every time I looked at that clay, I remembered my mother's words, growth is possible anywhere. And I decided if they wanted war, they'd get one. I started digging. Late nights, endless coffee, hours at the county records office. And what I found made my blood run cold. The HOA board, Karen, and her 3 cronies had been illegally funneling HOA funds into their personal accounts. Thousands of dollars meant for neighborhood maintenance were being used for vacations, luxury shopping, even Karen's daughter's college tuition. And guess what? Their rules were designed as weapons, vague, selectively enforced, and brutal when they wanted someone gone. I collected every document, every receipt, every leaked email. Then I waited, the annual HOA meeting. Everyone from the neighborhood was there, sipping lemonade, half bored as Karen droned on about protecting property values. That's when I stood up. "Excuse me," I said, holding up a folder. "Before we talk about flowers, maybe we should talk about fraud." "Yes." Murmurs. I laid everything out. The bank statements, the fake invoices, the damning evidence. People's jaws dropped as I read Karen's email out loud. "Don't worry, they'll never notice. Just slap them with a violation." Chaos erupted. Neighbors shouted, demanded answers. Some even threatened lawsuits. Karen's face turned pale, her hands shaking as she tried to grab a mic, but it was too late. By the end of the night, the board was dissolved. Investigators were called. Karen and her allies were facing not just shame, but potential jail time. And my flower pot? Still standing, untouched. Weeks passed. The neighborhood slowly changed. Without the HOA's iron grip, people started talking again, helping each other instead of spying. The lawns weren't perfect, but the community finally felt human. One evening, I sat on my porch, watching the sun dip low. The daisies in the pot swayed gently in the breeze. A new neighbor walked by and smiled. "Nice flowers," she said. I smiled back. "Thanks. They mean a lot." Because in the end, it was never about the pot. It was about standing up when someone tried to take away your dignity, your freedom. And I had learned one thing. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone. Sometimes it's about exposing them, and letting the truth do the rest. The HOA tried to fine me $500 for a flower pot, but in the end, it cost them everything.